Well, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our fourth live session. The response from all of you has been absolutely overwhelming. It's very warm to see so much love and shower and support coming in. I'm Sakshi Soi. I'm a project manager in the education technology industry. And I have with me Major General Sanjay Soi. He's an ex-army officer with more than 36 years of experience of service to the nation. Today, we've all gathered here to discuss women entrepreneurship in today's time and STEM based education and promoting innovation as a country. Our guests are two very, very young women, entrepreneurs, Sasha and Ishita. They graduates of the year 2019 from LSR. They both started on their journey of entrepreneurship while in college itself. So while you and I were busy exploring social media platforms, they were founding their company. All right, let's get to know them a little more about their journey, about their vision, about the drive that has motivated them to pursue their entrepreneurship. It's wonderful to have both of you on the panel with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So both of you founded Extemplar in 2018, and that was like your final year of college. We would love to know more about what Extemplar is, what it envisions to achieve. What was your drive to take on this mission?
So, Sakshi, actually, Ishita was still in high school when we started this. I was in my second year. I was in my second year of college. Ishita was in class 12, somewhere in the middle of it, and that's when Extemplar was registered.
Amazing.
Our
purpose is very clear. We were kind of brought up into this whole idea where everything around us was like, there's a problem, we need to find a solution, whether it was society, environment, everything. Then we kind of again grew up with the SGDs coming up all around us, which were like highly ambitious. They were all interlinked set of goals, and we kind of, I think both me and Sasha, we realized that there's something that we really couldn't achieve without effective, appropriate, and inclusive application of science, technology, and innovation specifically. So we realized that the need of the hour is STEM, and we kind of grew up into the STEM environment, both of us. And we realized that when we started Extemplar, we just thought that the aim was to integrate STEM application with real life challenges and like bring it to people as an initiative or as a plan that they can kind of imbibe within their daily lives and just enjoy it for what it is instead of the theoretical knowledge that we do gain about it.
So again, like we wanted to bring STEM out of the classroom, and we wanted everybody to realize that STEM exists everywhere in the most basic of things that exist around us in our everyday lives. So through one of our outreach programs last year, we'd actually gone to one of the remotest parts of our country, and we'd taken this program there. We'd asked children to come up with creative STEM solutions for everyday basic problems. And honestly, I was kind of taken by surprise because the ideas that came from these students were like, they were amazing. So, yeah.
That's wonderful. So, could you like tell us a little more about what STEM is? So we hear this concept very often. General Soi, you have a...
Yeah. In fact, like I'm one of the elder one here with some gray hairs with three young girls and young ladies, I would say, out there. So my generation, frankly, we are quite lost. And a lot of people have asked me, a lot of people called me up, okay, tell us what STEM is all about. So I think this is an ideal platform to educate people on this.
So if I may go ahead, STEM is basically an acronym. So it stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. And in a lot of countries, they even changed the acronym to STEAM, where they added arts to it because it's like an integrated approach to study. So it kind of propagates inquiry, design thinking, experimentation, hypothesis testing, even articulation or just testing theories. And mostly I think we've seen this enough now, but STEM is what actually leads to a lot of innovation and a lot of invention.
Okay, great.
So, and perhaps this innovation and invention, we hope that, and we have kind of taken it in a sense that it culminates in entrepreneurship.
Okay. I think that is, I mean, one is this angle that I'll talk later. It leads to entrepreneurship. But like this kind of company, I mean, when you are doing, you registered your company, your own startup, that you brought up, that why you registered it at such a young age. So, what are you doing for funding? I mean, how do you manage the funds for this kind of company, and what kind of company have you formed? What kind of, I mean, registration you have done? What? Yeah.
So we're a Section 8 company,
Okay.
and we're really lucky to be in a country where CSR is not just a mandate, but it's an inherent belief that organizations follow. Both private and public organizations, they do care about CSR and the good that they do for society through their programs. And we are really blessed to have support from Broadcom and the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India.
Okay, that is
We
excellent. I think that is wonderful. I mean, these are good, very big organizations, and if they are supporting and they are also into spreading the message of science and technology, that is great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
And we've also been working towards generating crowdfunding for our oncoming projects. The next ones that we do, we're working towards that through crowdfunding.
I
Okay.
also would like to add that we're very open to any organization who thinks that they like to support our cause and our projects as part of their CSR.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great.
So I just have a follow-up question. It's an interesting concept you're talking about, about crowdfunding, about reaching out to corporates, the CSR wings, to sort of support this initiative of yours. So how does this work two-way? Like why would a CSR wing of an organization want to invest or promote this? How does it help them in that entire gamut? And yeah, a little bit on that.
So I think any organization that invests in innovation that reaches out to students, and students of the most, when they're at the most crucial stage in life, I think they're investing in the future of the country, because that's where the real creativity and talent will come from. If you invest in a child's future now, it'll go a long way in the years to come.
And when we talk about our aims and our goals, since we're working in STEM, we kind of focus on the fact that it's a creative science as well. It's not just theory, it's not just technical, it's a lot of creativity and a lot of innovation that can be used to solve all multitudes of challenges that we face daily. So if we at a very young age start motivating children to sort of pursue this arena, to just explore what all is out there and what all solutions they can come up with, we don't know, it opens up a whole new sort of idea, sort of think tank, for no better word, and it broadens our horizons as adults, so it gives us more opportunity as a country to grow.
That's
I
interesting.
think, yeah, yeah. I think that is the interesting thing, that you are spreading the horizon. You are, I mean, making people aware, especially the younger generation. And if you look at it, the India is a young country, and we need that feeling of innovation. We need the things of, because that is what is missing in our young generation. Because if you see, there's hardly any new invention. There's hardly any focus on research. There's people are just working on trading, and manufacturing activities are very less. Now the people are not thinking of doing something out of box. And this kind of thing is there when more than 50% population, you are part of that, is below 25 in India. And if you look at it with the current pandemic, the kind of job layoffs which have taken place, I mean, the kind of, it is leading to more unemployment. Do you think that student who reach through Exemplar will also be motivated by you to become budding entrepreneurs and develop a habit of innovation? How do you do that?
So no, we really, really like to think that every person that we reach out to through our initiatives will always carry the spirit of innovation with them, and that's irrespective of the path they choose, whether it's in a science field or an entrepreneurship field, or even if it's education, arts, or anything that they do. That streak of innovation, that drive to do something, we just hope that every student that we reach out through Extempla will carry forward this spirit of innovation.
If I'd add on that, our aim is actually just to make everyone explore their own potential and enjoy the spirit of science and enjoy the creative aspects of it and the innovation that comes along with it. And it is actually very unfortunate that while the world was at the peak of its globalization, it had to face this setback, and everybody's bearing the brunt of this epidemic. So we were actually really encouraged by the recent focus on Atmanirbharta that came in, and that sort of motivates a lot of youth to sort of explore entrepreneurship a bit more.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think because you're bringing them out of classroom, and that makes it interesting. That makes it they force them to think differently, and kind of interaction then they have with other people from other colleges, schools, and I mean that is definitely a wonderful thing. Yeah, Sakshi wanted to say something, or Sasha?
No, I was
Yeah,
just gonna
Sasha.
say, yeah. I was just gonna say what Ishita said, just that she resonated my thoughts. So
Okay, right.
Nice. I think I'll just add a little bit on it. While it does encourage innovation, is eventually like your path towards entrepreneurship, right? There's a huge gap coming from training field, coming from L&D, coming from a project management perspective. I think there's a huge gap between what we learn during our education years versus what needs to be learned to apply that knowledge or skill when we are getting employed. The skill gap between that bridge is yet to be built. So STEM, I feel, from whatever discussion, what I've understood so far from you guys, it seems it encourages problem solving. It seems it encourages critical thinking. It seems it encourages that you think out of the box and you think of how to solve the obstacles instead of just getting stuck at it. So that's definitely those are definitely areas that any organization also looks for. Whether you're starting off your own thing or you're joining an organization, people are looking for resources or to hire folks who can look for answers, and STEM seems to be like the way for it. I do have a question on your entrepreneurship journey though.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes, General, so you had something.
No, it's actually you. Nothing. I just thought you wanted to.
Okay, so how are you currently managing your work, right? Like you're running an organization that is working towards educating people, leading from STEM. So how are you conducting your sessions today, or what is it that you are doing at this point in time?
So at this time, we're using this time to transition to a remote learning landscape. And I think when people talk about the digital divide, it's a very important topic, yes. But that's kind of what we're aiming to work towards as Extempla. We want to make STEM and learning experience as a whole something that's inclusive and accessible to everybody. And I think
Yeah, I think we lost her. Sasha, you want to?
Yes, so we were soon working towards launching a digital outreach program, and I think it's unfortunate that it took us a pandemic to get everybody to realize that we can stay connected. It isn't mandatory to be together. We can be connected through digital means as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to become like a global community, it took us a pandemic to realize that we can stay connected digitally.
Yes. I think we always had access to all of these tools and technologies, but the implementation was not as far and wide as it has reached now. So, yeah.
So there's a couple of just one more thing I wanted to ask you. Like when you formed your company, and plus we'll take on some questions have also come from audience. What kind of challenges you faced while say forming the company, while running it, and now the kind of challenges could you share with us?
So definitely, the thing is, when it comes to hobbies and stuff like painting or reading or taking up a sport, hobbies are encouraged. But when it comes to two young women entrepreneurs who have registered and started to run their own countries, there are definitely quite a few raised eyebrows. So, I mean, had it been a young gentleman in our place, things probably would have been different.
Yeah.
Ishita?
Yeah.
We did face a lot of bias. I know I was in grade 12 when we started this. So for me, I've actually heard people come up to me and say, "You're a student. Your work is to eat, sleep, and study. Why do you want to do this? What is the benefit of doing this?" So it's a bit sad that a few people do think that it's not worth trying to bring a change. But I do think that that's kind of something that motivated me and Sasha the other way, because we decided that it's not right. If there is an initiative that we can bring to other students and help them, we will work towards it, even if it takes extra hours or overcoming such challenges. It was something that we were driven to do.
So Ishita and I, we've been volunteering. We've been volunteering together for various events since we were like 10 years old. I would come back from my winter break from school, and they would be. We just volunteer for each and every event that we could volunteer for. We discovered we could work together, and when we discovered that the kind of communication that we had between us was good, we were like, okay, let's take this forward. And yeah, when the opportunity came to register our own organization, we did.
Okay, I think there's time to take some questions from the viewers. Anything,
Yeah, we have a lot
Sakshi, you want to ask?
of them. No, I think that's all. That's all the questions I have from my end.
Yeah,
But
there's
we
a
do have
question
some
from
interesting questions.
Dr. Asif Iqbal, is the president of Indian Economic and Trade Forum. He says, what countries are you collaborating with? I think whatever countries have you done something, or where you want to do something?
So far, we have worked with programs in our country. We have also worked on IRIS National Fair, which is the organization that sends the Team India contingent to ISEF, which is the International Science and Engineering Fair, which is conducted every year in the US. This year, in fact, we have just finished with 1 week of ISEF, where we were actually working with helping the Indian contingent with their online submissions, since ISEF was conducted online because of the COVID-19 pandemic. We are looking forward to take our work to many more countries, and we're open to working anywhere that help may be needed in STEM and children may be reached out to.
I think one of the country was Indonesia. You had mentioned that maybe the science fair, we may think of going there, and those are the things which you had mentioned once.
Yes, so there was a program there which was hoping to sort of bridge cultural gaps and social gaps as well as technology. So they were addressing both things at once. And me and Sasha, we've been working on trying to get India as an established team over there, so that we can take the Indian students and they can explore a new culture while learning about a lot of interesting scientific and environmental discoveries that happen there.
Yeah. So there's another question which has come up is Tushar Talreja. Sakshi?
Yeah. Are you planning to focus on financial intelligence as part of one of the courses? You know, it's not being taught in our schools at present, but something on your roadmap.
So I think we'll actually take that as feedback, because right now we are revamping a lot of our content and a lot of our programs. We're working on getting a lot of things off the track now. And I know the pandemic is unfortunate, but it's given us some time to sort of retrospect and see where the company is heading. And we've been exploring new avenues. So I think this is something very interesting which we could follow up on.
Yeah, definitely.
There's another one from Dr. Asif. That we could support with Republic of Estonia and Armenia as they're looking to collaborate with STEM education setups. I think we'll get in touch with you, Dr.
Someone
Asif.
needs to get it.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely.
Definitely, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
I think in addition to this, we have a lot of appreciation that's flowing in for the work that you guys are doing towards educating our younger generation and at such a young age, you know. So kudos to both of you for founding an organization at such an early stage and for taking it to where you want to take it, you know, to achieve goals that a lot of us are not even thinking about. And it's always interesting to hear about all of these new concepts. STEM is not something that we hear about too often, but if we hear about, we really don't know how it kind of functions. General Soy, would you want to add something over here?
Yeah, actually, I'm finding that very happy to see two young ladies doing something different. And I think it was a good education session for me to understand what STEM is all about and what you guys are doing. And especially, I was so happy that you are igniting the young mind. You are igniting the young generation. I mean, you also young, but I mean, your own people with the to think out of box, to think innovative, to do something differently, and I think add on something, do something for the country, do something for themselves, do something for the organization. Thank you so much. I think very nice.
It was
Thank you,
wonderful
sir.
having both of you. Very fruitful discussion and a lot of appreciation pouring in from the audience as well. And all the best. All the best to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
All right, guys. That brings us to the end of our session today. That's all the questions that we had and the questions from the audience. And hope to connect with you soon sometime.
Sure.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.